everybody. Welcome to Laughter Talks. And as usual, Marguerite is very excited with these two handsome gentlemen here. Now, yeah, I don't let anybody speak until I introduce you. It's like they're on the universal mute zone. So I would really like to do that first. So I'm going to change my view here so I can introduce you. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Lorenzo Leonard is an
That's it.
I got it. See, the second time is a charm with me. Is an is an actor, writer, and producer who knew he was going to be an actor at 2 years old. Good for you. He studied at the Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City and moved to Los Angeles in 2000. You're getting to be an old timer.
Yes.
He has, yeah. See, you're going to be dated.
I'm like fine wine though. I get
I
better with
know.
age.
We all are. We get better. You with the rocky attitude. I love that so much. Now, he has since worked with iconic actors, including Sylvester Stallone. And Lorenzo discovered a love for filmmaking and writing and has won several awards, including Best Actor and Best Screenplay. So kudos to you. That's wonderful.
Well,
Now,
thank you.
now Telly Shear is an independent filmmaker who began his career in Los Angeles. And originally, this is fascinating. Originally, he worked in cancer research, and Telly stumbled into the film industry and was mesmerized by the creative aspect of it, which I totally get. And he left his old passion for his newfound love and never looked back. And I hear you. He co-founded the I love this, the Earth from the Earth Productions, and has written, produced, and also directed several award-winning and commercially successful projects. And so you two guys, your what again? Your Lorenzo, your production company is called
Leonard Productions.
Leonard Productions. So you jointly did this. It's
That's
Leonard
correct.
from New York Productions. Now, what we're going to talk about today. So anyway, thank you for being here.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
for
us. What
having
an
us.
introduction. I feel honored by that intro.
Well, and I'm so excited, and it should be exciting. You know, you have to just
Yeah.
do things that make you happy. So the first thing we want to talk about is your newest project. But it's the American Hun Story, correct?
That's
Now,
correct.
Yes,
Yes.
I
that's
would
right.
Yes. Now, I would like you to give us the scoop on what this is about. I could read a synopsis, but I want you to tell me because I love this.
Okay, awesome. So American Hun Story, an American Hun Story, I play Stanley Birdie, and he's having three major issues in life, and he overcomes them with a newly discovered superpower.
Way
But
cool.
but what makes our film stand apart is it's not just comedy, it's not just fantasy, but it's also self-help. So in this film, Stanley is dealing with these problems, and in the story, after these problems are resolved, you're going to get advice from a real professional in that field. So you'll be entertained, you'll laugh. Then, if you too are suffering from this issue, you'll get resolution from a professional. So I think we really
Wow.
created a new genre with doing this, and I think people are going to love it.
I was going to say, I've never heard of this before. This is like amazing. So now, and adding to that, tell us exactly what are the issues that you men think you have?
So we try to think of something that's very general, like stuff that many people may suffer from, so that we could help as many people as we can. So I don't know, is that a spoiler if we tell that, or I
Well,
don't.
no, because no, I think that it's just so interesting that it's so many things mixed together. But I got a real kick out of the synopsis here, which says, I love its mission is to address the various issues and stresses that men feel as they often endure on a daily basis through, and you're doing it but through humor, with jokes and
Correct.
everything,
Yeah.
which is,
Yeah.
but
Humor, some fantasy, and some special effects. And these are issues that, I mean, the masses, billions, find that have trouble with.
Yeah. Now I'm very interested in men's issues. So you're talking about men's issues, right?
Well, not just men, but maybe men and women.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could expand to
Okay.
women as well.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
what would you say is the number one issue that you like to talk about in this movie?
Well, we don't want to give all of them
Okay.
away,
Just as
but we will say
yeah.
like one of the main issues is finances. Who
Okay.
does, especially now with the coronavirus, the world has changed forever. So how do you deal with finances? How do you deal with debt? If you're divorced, you got alimony, and what if your company, you had to give half your company to
Yeah.
your spouse? How do you deal with all this?
Yeah. Well, that's really, and again, it's always nice to come at things from the humorous standpoint. Now, is this all? I know you have a trailer, and I'm so sorry I couldn't capture it and pick it up in my file. But can people see this? Where can people go to see the trailer for this movie?
So trailer, we we're going to release it soon because we wanted
Okay.
to pick a date, but
Okay.
the best way to see updates about this project would be our official Facebook page and Instagram if you like Instagram more.
Okay.
It's American Hun Story. It's easy
On
as that.
Facebook. Yeah, I was seeing
Yeah.
that. You update your information, so that's a very good place and you have another Facebook page. It's called what is it, the film? Telly?
Well, we have the film has its own Facebook and Instagram and website, all the same at American Hun Story. But Telly's company also has his own Facebook page, and my company has its own Facebook
I
page.
saw your other show you're doing that. It's just amazing. You're doing so many different projects. Now, can I ask, what was your inspiration for this? What was there a definitive thing that happened that you said, we've got to do this? This is too much.
It is. It's a really funny story. I'll start it, and Telly can lead into it.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
We were in production after this movie. We're right now in post production for a television show that many networks are already like trying to pick up. Is we've developed the first actor reality show for actors. You know, there's all these singing competitions. There's
Okay.
nothing for actors. So we're in post production for that. We were filming a segment in Las Vegas, and being that Mr. Cher and his co-owner Henry, we're always thinking, what can we do? What else can we do? And we started saying, you know, we were saying, you remember in the 80s and 90s, they had these at 2 a.m. these 1-800 numbers from these attractive women that would come on and say,
Yeah.
you know, like, welcome to Intimate Connections. Are you bored? Do you need some fun? We'll call 1-800 Fun Hottie. So we were like, well, what if we like did something like that, but changed the not for like, you know, sexual joy, but just for like, let's say you are depressed. Let's say you have trouble. So we started playing around with that. And then Telly calls me and says, you know, Lorenzo, I have an idea for a film, and I'll let him add that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea really started from, like Lorenzo said, just these infomercial, but we try to actually using innuendo or suggested humor to talk about real issue. So even though it looks kind of funny, but everything we say actually we research about the issue. We
Yes.
try to put in the right information. So if you actually listen to what the narration says, they're actually helpful tips.
Yeah. So if you have trouble, like with you know, you're nervous on your wedding night, the advice that's given is comedy, but it's actually when Telly and I were writing it, we really researched what doctors and therapists said to do if you're afraid to, you know, of that night. So it's you know, real good advice.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So now when is this when is your movie going to be out, and how is it being distributed? Do you know that yet?
Yeah, well, what's funny about that is we already had distribution, and it was planning to be on streaming services. We have other films on streaming services, but we got film festivals got in contact with us and want us to showcase the film at these couple film festivals.
Oh.
So we were asked to do that. So we're going to have the film at the festivals, and then after that, you'll be able to see American Hun Story on Amazon, YouTube, Google Play, Vudu, and iTunes, whatever streaming service you like.
That's a good idea to do the circuit first. Now that brings me to your second project that is streaming, and I got all excited about it and I mixed up my notes. Tell us about that one. What is the name of the other one?
Well, we decided to make a difficult title just for you.
That's why I can't find my notes and I couldn't remember the name. So I remember having problems with it.
You know what's funny about the title is everyone I tell it to has trouble saying it except my 5-year-old. My 5-year-old read it and went, "Oh yeah, Daddy, Into Tartarus. That's easy."
Well, there you go. So Into Tartarus.
Yes.
Why did you name it that? What's wrong with you?
Well, we wanted people. Teli is obviously a very smart man. He's highly educated. And
well, yeah, if he's done all that research, I guess so.
Yeah, and Tartarus actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, Teli, means the dungeon, right?
I think it's from the Greek mythology. It's
right.
It's this dark, like a dark abyss or a dungeon type, and it's very much related to the film itself. It's both mentally and physically trapped in this like nightmarish dungeon type of situation, and it's very interesting. It's actually very interesting how it's made.
Yeah, very interesting how it's made.
What do you mean? How did you make it?
Well, Into Tartarus first is I play Anthony Giamatti, who in 2007 was kidnapped with his friends when they were, in their late 20s. And in order to survive, they had to do torturous things to one another. 10 years later, in 2017, Anthony now has exiled himself into the mountains, and he gets interviewed about the incident because he's never spoke about it. But the person that's interviewing him doesn't know is that she's involved in this incident, and she
in a very strange way.
Yeah.
Very twisted way.
Yeah. And what's so interesting about the project is the torture scenes we really shot in 2007. So those were really shot in 2007. And then there was problems with just the film and producers. And 10 years later, we were able to finish it. And Teli, he was just so smart. He's like, "Hey, you're older now. You got long hair." Because in the film, my head is shaved. He's like, "Why don't we do it where you're getting interviewed?" So it's just interesting that we really shot the torture scenes in 2007. And 10 years later, the interview scenes were really shot. So when you flash back, you see, although I am much more handsome, older, you see me.
And so many people do get better looking as they get older.
So it's just interesting, a good story. First, the story is very a psychological thriller, but it's also good to show you that, don't give up, hang on, that it was like a Tartarus to finish the film. Producers don't want it. So we had to buy it all from them, and then we didn't know how to finish it. So it all worked out really well.
Well, that is the one that you said is streaming on all the platforms.
It's streaming on the platforms, but what's great about life today is you could see it for free. If you go to Tubi, you can download it on your phone, or you can download it on your TV, put it into Tartarus, and you can watch it for free. Wow. That's what's great about that streaming service.
That's amazing. Well, it sounds like you guys really have a lot going for you. And Teli, do you ever star in this, or that's not your thing? Do you ever play a role?
I was the director for
you're the director.
For the new parts.
Okay.
So I joined the project at the second half.
Okay.
And I helped brainstorm how we can put together the first part and how we can create the second part to accomplish the film.
Yeah. Well, that was a really good way to do it, to keep the continuity.
Well, you hear his voice though.
Yeah, he's got a good.
He has a voiceover part in the film.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you've got a good voice for that. What about the Hun Story? Are you in that or no?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just the writer and the director.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking, because I'm a writer and director, but I am not an actor. I can be myself. I can be myself, and I love doing these shows. But if you try to get me to memorize lines, you're on your own. So yeah, and I
it's a
love
whole
that.
different mentality.
Yeah,
It's
it does.
very
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I love actors because I love that's my favorite thing to do is work with actors. And I also am going to put up your website for your reels. You've got reels and you do a lot of comedy. And so I'm going to put those up for you. Not you, Tony. I know you don't do that, but your site for your acting.
Oh, well, thank you so
Put up
much.
for you, Lorenzo, because someone like you
Mr.
have a really good look.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. It takes a long time to grow these locks.
Yeah. When I first saw you, I thought he must be an international Italian star. You look like an international Italian star. So
You've made my day. Thank you so much.
I was waiting for the accent, but then when I heard you, I said, no, he just his look, but that's it. But well, fellas, this has been amazing.
Well, I wanted to tell you, Telly, he, we wrote Hun Story together, and he directs everything, but he is also an actor. He has a film on streaming services right now called A Fiend's Love that he stars in. He wrote, directed it, produced it, and starred in it, and edited some of it.
How come you're hiding that, Telly?
That's-
What's the deal?
And he does martial arts. Telly's very good at martial arts. So in the film, he does extensive martial arts. Him and his brother beat each other up a lot.
Can we see this? Is there a link for me to see that? Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube, but it's the same. Like in $2, it's free on Tubi TV. If you go to Tubi TV.
I don't do Tubi, but I do everything on YouTube. Can I see it on YouTube?
Yeah, if you go to,
you can see on YouTube.
Yeah, you have to rent it. I think it might be a couple bucks to rent.
Okay.
But you can rent it on YouTube. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, that was my first project. Like I wrote it, and maybe I was trying to discover who I was.
Yes.
And I think that was it. Like I know I like directing more than acting. Acting is just so much more challenging for me.
But I saw an interview with Elvis Presley, who was the highest paid actor of his time, where he said, acting, you're playing different sides of yourself, even if it's like a distant side. So I totally agree. Absolutely. Yeah. You have to have some reality of if you're playing a serial killer, maybe you got really mad at someone and felt like you wanted to just kill them. But
well, do you know that movie, Joe Black?
Yeah, Meet Joe Black.
Anthony Hopkins. Yes. Do you know
yes.
that, Telly, too? He did a scene in there where he has a heart attack. And he said to them, I'll give you, I think, 2 takes. If you don't get it by the second take, he wouldn't do it a third time because your body as an actor does not know you're making believe. Your body is processing every emotion that's going through you, and that can hurt your health. So he had to protect.
I like that.
Yeah, and when you think about it, that's the truth. How can you pretend you're having a heart attack? If you're an actor, you have to feel what you're doing, and he wouldn't do it a third time because you put that out, and he could induce a heart attack.
Yeah, well, Hopkins is so awesome.
Yeah, so whatever advice he gives, I like to pass along because the man knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
I could talk to you two guys all day, but we're going to have to go because, gosh, that's sad, but, it's only a 20-minute show and I want more. We'll have to do this again, after you're done with the film festivals, with your project. I'd love if we could get together and see how that goes and talk about it when it goes up again. Does that sound like a plan?
It sounds fantastic. Thank you for your time, and
thank you so much.
I hope we'll definitely we'll talk soon and stay in touch. And
absolutely, and I'll be watching you, and we'll make Facebook friends so we could see what each other is doing. So that's very important. And
100%, absolutely, yes.
Well, I love you both, and you're amazing. And my message to everybody: support your immune system. It's only 1 per customer. Okay, see you guys soon. Stay safe.
Bye. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.